People obviously think we're crazy now, but sure, for sure. Paddle. Say petrol in English. Say petrol and traveller. Paddle.
Petrol.
Have you want a paddle there, Dean?
Say, there's 3 Ds in
Dean,
it.
have you want a paddle there?
Mineral.
Any mineral there, no? Any mineral? Have you any mineral? Have you any mineral there, Dean?
Curdles.
Curls in English. Curdles. What curdles? How's it going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Today's weather forecast would be mild. We start again, yeah. Get rid of that one, yeah, good one, yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's is the weather forecast for today. It's nice and mild out there. It's nice and bright. Not a lot of rain. Last week we had lots of rain and way too much of it, absolutely, of course. Today it's absolutely different. I'm sure you're all smiling out there, saying thanks be to God this rain has gone away and we can look forward to brighter days. Now it will be a little cloudy in the evening and a little bit drizzle later on, but by then we should be all in bed. So goodbye.
You actually sounded like a
Was
man.
that good?
You sounded like a man halfway through it.
That wasn't bad now without rehearsal or practice,
with the little accent in your voice. Ladies and gentlemen, today everybody is panicking. Why?
So
because of the rain.
We need a bit of practice on the weather forecast.
Where was the weather forecast for? What area? Just wherever you were?
Come here. Do you listen to the weather forecast? Honestly, true. I do not give a damn about the weather
My
forecast.
brother listens to it like religiously.
Seriously?
Oh my
I
God.
never take. Look at here. If it comes up on the news, all right.
Leave the weather on there, will you?
I never take it serious. Never.
I don't either. I just look
look
out the window.
outside and say that's nice. Even if it's raining, hail, snow, dry, sunshine, I just say that's nice. Thank God for that. Simple. It's the best way
In
to
my
be.
head,
because
I was thinking because you didn't
Well, here,
introduce where you
if
were.
If you look out and you see rain, can you change it? No. If you look out and see the sunshine, can you change it? No. Absolutely not. So whatever the weather is going to be, that's how it's going to be.
And it doesn't matter what the weather
Most
is.
of all, just thank God for that day.
You can't, but it doesn't matter what the weather is.
Can't
because
change it.
It'll change itself.
Naturally. That's why they say, let nature take its course. That is nature. And it is going to take its course.
But no matter how you prepare, especially in this country, it doesn't matter. But what I was thinking in my head there, you didn't introduce where you were in the country. It was just like, this is
sorry,
weather,
folks.
wherever Martin Stokes
Sorry,
is.
folks, but I'm sad to say I'm stuck here in Ballymun.
Yep.
So I hope you're all enjoying the weather out in Spain. Bye for this evening. That's more weather.
Do the news.
Sorry, we had a breakdown in the weather.
Do the news.
Sorry, we had a breakdown in the weather forecast.
This is 6-1 news.
Can we try the news? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to start up. I haven't seen the news in a long time.
Do you watch the news?
No, it comes up on the TV, obviously, but the government, go on.
The government have announced today that there's more stuff.
More cuts.
More cuts. There's more stuff that they haven't done.
Yeah.
And there's less things that they're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
And there's a few other things that they left out.
There's about probably 100 things for them to do. They've marked off 98 of them that they're not going to do. So they're thinking about doing the other two.
They'll eventually get around to finishing off the list and then they'll start
and
again.
It's just on Ballymun, yeah?
This is the whole world. The government in your country has announced that they're going to pretend to do stuff that they thought they should have done last week, that they got paid for 3 years ago, and that they won't finish off for another 10 years.
They're not too bad. They're going to put on paper, yeah?
They're going to write it down.
Obviously, the paper won't refuse ink.
Yeah, a few people might read it.
And just be happy reading it.
Yeah, they'll be talking back.
Because they're going to put on the paper what people want to see anyway, yeah? So there's a bit of a smile there, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. No one in your heart.
And then they'll have journalists talk back to them and tell them what they wrote down on the paper.
Yes.
And the journalists will be paid a handsome fee
to bring the good news.
To bring the news that
they have no plans of doing, basically.
What's written on the paper is the plan that they haven't carried out yet.
Like of all the plans they made here in Ballymun and didn't carry them out.
You have a gripe. You have a gripe with Ballymun, don't you?
Or
was shit getting done in Ballymun.
They're still on the paper.
In other news, a dog in Coolock.
Yes.
Ran
where?
Away.
Ran away?
Yep.
Where did he run to? Ballymun.
Oh, the news. I used to watch the news. When I'm staying with my brother, he watches the news all the time. He watches the weather, and he'd be like, my dad will be there and like, stick on the news there, stick on around.
There's only one problem with the news now.
It's on.
No, the biggest problem is there's let's say 90% of the news, touch wood, is all bad news. Seriously. If they didn't have if they didn't have all bad stories to tell throughout the world, there'd be no news.
I don't think that, like, it's like you with the weather. You look out the window, you don't see the bad news,
No.
but they tell you about it. So it's like the weather. You look out the window, you don't see the bad weather, but they tell you about it.
Newspapers. Do you buy newspapers?
The only reason newspapers sell is because people are interested
In the wrong stories.
in stories that are, I don't even know if they're made up, but they're just nonsense.
Well, they're not good for the head for starters anyway.
But they're nonsense. Okay, so let's say you buy that wonderful paper, the Sunday World,
Yes.
right? 99 point. The only thing that's right on that is the price.
Yeah, that's right.
99.9% nonsense.
Yes.
And then you go all the way up to like the posh papers, the business papers and all that type of stuff.
And then the journalists...
More nonsense.
The journalists put in, to be honest about it, point is going behind the doors and saying it. They put in more lies than anything else
But
in
it's like
the
that you
papers.
think that they're telling you something that you don't already know that's important in your life.
Yeah.
Like I done the last 2 weeks I done 2 interviews with journalists, right?
Yes.
And I like these journalists and they're all right, they're not too bad.
Yeah.
And they kind of cover the story. But it's like they're telling people a version of the stuff that they kind of already know. Like you look out the window, you look at the weather, it's sunny, and then, the journalist writes, it's sunny today.
I don't know. I don't buy newspapers lately because a long time now. Because I used to years ago, and the truth is, when you leave that paper down, your head is just your mind is in a different state because there's so much bad stuff on the newspapers.
I'd love to know who's buying.
The way to solve all that was not buying them anymore.
I'd love to know who's buying regular newspapers. Who's watching regular news.
I'd say now I'd say the older people are. Because everything
Man,
is on,
you're the older people. How
I'm
much
not-
older do you have to
come on,
be?
Dina.
But not in a slagging way. Oh, like I'm 50. How much older do I have to be?
so
80?
tell me something. Do you class yourself older 50?
No, but I would have when I was 20.
Yeah, you would have thought at the person of 50 was
Exactly,
old.
exactly. So old is relative to where you
I was
are.
actually talking to someone last week about that, the last couple of days, matter of fact, about when we were younger, and we often used the word, it was an old man of 50 years of age. But you're not an old man of 50 years of age. If you want to tell yourself you're old, that's up to yourself. That's your own choice.
So who's reading the bleeding papers?
The older people, I think so. I think the older people, a lot older than us, probably 60s, 70s. I think it's a habit now for them. And
There you go. That's interesting. It's a habit.
probably a habit.
Watching the news every day, watching the weather every day, reading newspapers every day is a habit.
It's like a chill out time for them. I think so.
But it's something that they're comfortable with, that they do every day. Like get up, brush your teeth, have your breakfast.
Well, I guess if it's something they're doing almost all their lives, or half their lives at least, probably not. They probably don't want to stop it now. And the other thing also, the phones. Probably don't know how to use these what they call phones, or maybe get onto the internet and stuff like that. I'm not saying everybody, but maybe a lot of old people are like that. I'm guessing they are anyway.
So come here, do
So
a big.
that would be one reason to listen to the news, and the other reason to buy a newspaper.
So do a big welcome back to people, because we haven't been doing a podcast.
No, I'll tell you what I want to do first, and I want to say a big happy birthday
Yeah.
to the one and only, the wonderful Pauline Scurry, yeah,
My old mammy.
who is 64 today, and she looks fabulous. To be honest about it, God bless her. So happy birthday to you, Pauline, yeah. If you're listening to this,
I think she will be listening to it. She told me today, it's her birthday today, she listens to them all. I
Yeah.
send her stuff. Obviously, she's going to listen to it. She loves me. I'm her son. And she'll be flattered by the fact that you're saying that she's 63.
no, I know what age you told me, but like I'm saying, she does look. God bless her.
You don't want to scandalise
She
her by
looks
telling her
very
real
healthy
age.
for 64, like, you know, man. So again, happy birthday.
We should record this video of this, because then people could see your little wry smile.
Yeah, absolutely. I like smiling. I like putting a bit of smile to a good. I like putting a nice smile to a good word. Put it that way. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
So give the people a good word. We're back recording.
Well, back recording. Do you want to say that Dean was lazy or what? Where do we go from here? We haven't done it in the last couple of weeks, basically. I got caught up with a lot of stuff, and I'm assuming that Dean got caught up with stuff as well. I don't know. We'll take one day at a time. That's all we can do.
If we get women on, we'll have a podcast. If we don't get traveller women on, we won't have a podcast. And we resolved that over the last couple of weeks talking. So I have news for you. Do you want to hear the news?
Take wherever this podcast.
I want to hear the news. You were the newsman a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know that. Well, if I'm the newsman, I'm the one who's reading it out then.
Well, what? You tell me what the news is
So
then.
whatever this podcast takes us.
You tell me what the news is. I told you the news the other day. What's the news?
Look, Dean, hold on for 1 second. Don't be tying me down to anything at all. What are you going to say?
No, I told you the news. We had a chat the other day.
Yeah, what was it? Tell I forget. Tell it what it was.
About our live show.
Yes, what then?
Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, it's in the end of the year. Please God.
When is it?
At the end of the year.
What month?
December.
November.
Yes, what then?
And what are we doing at it?
At the Access.
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat.
Who? Me, you,
We're
and
going to
who?
bring on a couple of guests, 2 guests.
Who did I tell you I was going to invite?
I think it's Eileen Flynn, is that right?
I reached out to her today, just before I went into my mummy's birthday.
Very good, go
I
on.
left her a voice message and I said, Eileen, I think it's time. I think we're ready
For?
to have a Traveller Woman on a podcast.
Very good, about time.
It is about time. Now, in fairness to her and fairness to you, she did say a couple of months ago when there was, she was at protest in town that she would come and do it. And you said, yeah, get her out straight away, but we didn't have the time.
That's right, and you rang me back saying no.
Yeah.
You said she had to get the train, is that right?
She had to get the train home.
So it means it was...
Time wasn't there.
When was that? What month was that?
I'm not sure when that was.
That's about 8 months ago. It was before Christmas.
No, it wasn't before Christmas.
So it was January then. Dean, it seems like more than 6 months ago.
I know.
Being honest about it.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having
fun.
Pizza.
Pizza? I don't eat pizza.
Do you know?
No. So I don't know how fast time goes.
That's the news. So we're kind of, we're back, I think, to do more podcasts, to have chats, to get back into the flow of it, to record a few of these sessions.
Did we actually stop doing podcasts?
Yes, we did stop. So if anybody's listened to it, because loads of people have reached out to me saying, and I'm sure they've reached out to you as well.
Yeah.
Have they?
Keep asking, why have we not done podcasts this week?
The girl here in Ballymun, she works in a cafe, and when's the next podcast? Why ain't you recording the podcast?
Did you ever ask them what do they like about the podcast? Any feedback at all on it? No?
Hers was specifically, she just loves listening and finding out about you.
Me?
Yeah.
Why would you want to find out about me?
Oh, humble Martin.
Yeah, why?
Because you're... Okay, I don't know if you know this, right? But we like finding out about people. That's one thing. The other one is, you're a travelling man. And I said from day one, that's fascinating. That's fascinating to me. And
just to be a traveller.
Just to be a traveller. Here's
is
the
that
fact.
Is that all there is to me?
I've probably said this loads of times. Most people aren't travellers.
We obviously know that.
Yeah. Okay, so they don't understand your life.
We have the countryman as well there.
They don't understand. It'd be like, I'm not calling you an alien, but it'd be like if we found an alien.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
Right? And you're going to the alien going, oh my God, it's an alien. And
he's slag me off there. I want to be a slag.
And he's going, you're just talking to me because I'm an alien. And you're going, no, but like, I've never had the chance, opportunity.
Would you ask that alien, is anything more to the alien than just being an alien?
Yeah, well, then I'd sit down and do a podcast with him. And I'd do 40 episodes of podcasts.
With the alien,
But if that alien, after 40 episodes, didn't ever have a woman alien on, I'd say, hold on a minute here now. And he'd go, yeah, but when we do our live show, I'll have a woman alien on.
What if the alien felt like he was already in the room with another alien? What would happen?
What are you trying to say, Martin?
2 aliens.
That was actually a good analogy there.
Yeah, that's right. You just didn't bring it out the right way, that was all. You brought the analogy on, but you never explained anything about it, like. First of all, you said somebody ran over to you and asked you about your podcast. Then you said they were interested in the travellers, basically.
You said she really loved listening to you talking. And just the stuff that you come out with and your perspective.
So actually, they like listening to nonsense, is that it?
Martin, as much nonsense as you speak a lot of wisdom as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, I know you like a bit of slagging and jibing and a bit of banter and a bit of this and that.
Yeah, I don't mind slagging. I don't mind being slagged. Yeah, and instead a bit of banter or whatever. We have to try and keep it going somewhere.
But you've got serious as well in some of these.
Yeah, but it depends where the let's say where the road takes you, like where the conversation leads.
I think your preference is keeping it light, keeping it punchy.
Sometimes you can be slagging and still lead into a good conversation, and we don't know that. And it's the same for everybody. Anyone who's doing podcasts or radio shows or whatever they're doing, interviews and stuff, they don't really know where the conversation is going to lead, do they? And if they tell you they do, they're not being honest about, unless they have a lot of stuff written down so they can put a stop to that conversation and directly lead to somewhere else because it's written there in front of them. But other than that, if they haven't got it written down, then sure, what have we got? Supersonic brains, is that it? Because I couldn't predict that, could you?
So did you miss me?
Not really, no.
Come on, get in there.
Dean, I'm telling you
And
now.
did you miss? Okay,
I was very, very busy. Honestly, I had no time to miss anybody.
did you miss the podcast? Let's ask
Well,
that question.
since I was in Lords a couple of weeks ago, my mind was focused on that, and that was it. The podcast, I like a bit of crack, instead a bit of banter, slagging and messing. There's thousands of people doing podcasts.
Did you miss
So
doing
it's
the
not
podcast?
special about what we do, like, you know what I mean?
Do you not think there's something special about this?
I don't know, but I don't think so. Like, unless you can see something special.
Is there something special in it for you? Because I know I really enjoy doing it,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing it.
Yeah, so I'm asking.
I like doing the podcast because it's gives you an opportunity to speak, and as I said again, sometimes serious conversations, sometimes a bit of banter, a bit of slagging, or look, if we can make people laugh, then we're doing something good.
I think
And
that's
that's all
very
I'd be-
important. That's very important.
That's what I'd be really interested in.
Yeah.
But it's just that me and you, me anyway, for definite. I know you claim to be a comedian. I am far from being a comedian or far from being a jolly person. If I can get something there, yes, that can make someone smile, I'm going to use that. Simple as. So therefore, if I slag you sometimes and you get all down and out to me and get all lonesome and all, no man, I don't know. There's not much.
man.
There's not much. There's not much I can do about that, is there? Only just keep on slagging you until you realise, hold on a second, this guy means no harm. We only had a bit of crack and a bit of banter. Like, it's not like he's putting me down or dissing me or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or whatever way you see things. So the reality of it is that I wouldn't be doing to upset anybody. Like, you know what I mean? So if you have been down and out because I slagged you a few times, I apologise.
It's a little wind there from Aaron. So come here. I was talking to you the other day
Yeah.
about a word, right? That I haven't heard you say before, but I'm interested in it. And it doesn't have to get too serious, but if you don't mind talking about it, it'll be
If you don't say the word, I'll never know what's on your mind.
the word of scandalise.
Scandalise. What scandalise mean to you?
That there's a scandal. That there's a scandal has been said about someone. Someone's in a situation and there's kind of what you would call bad mouthing around it.
You want my honest opinion on that?
Yeah.
That is something that I never, ever, ever, and I can honestly say this, I never get involved with that. If a person, let's say if a person does something wrong in life or makes a mistake in life, I don't think I have the authority to judge them no matter who they are, where they come from. So if they're scandalized in different ways and other people are willing to mouth about them and talk about them, yeah, I'm not part of that and I don't want to be part of that. Therefore, you're asking the wrong guy about that because...
Yeah, but you brought the word up.
No, I was only having a crack today when I said to you, how did I come out with it?
You had done something and you wanted me not to tell people and you said, don't tell people,
no,
you'll scandalise me.
hold on for a second. You're making this sound like serious here.
No, I didn't say it was serious.
No, but I'm saying that it wasn't anyway. Thing about it
Okay,
is,
you done something that wasn't serious.
I said, I was in a jokey way. I said, you had me scandalised.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a sarcastic comment, if you like. Yeah? And you literally fed off that. You did, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't use the word scandalise.
Yeah, and I don't use it.
You know.
Honestly and truly, I'm telling you the truth. I never use it. And even when I said that to you, I was sort of surprised with the word.
I sent you back a voice message or a text going, I'll scandalise you.
Yeah, that's right. So that was the fun part about it. But that's something I would never talk about. If, regardless of how people live their lives or what mistakes to make in life, that is none of my business.
So the penny just dropped there. That's kind of what the news has turned into.
Yeah, evil. It's evil.
It's fucking
I don't care what
scandalising.
anybody's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you can use that word to describe a situation, basically. Me, anyway, we can't just start digging our, how would you call it, put our noses into people's business there. That's absolutely nothing got to do with us.
But that's kind of what the news is. We're invited to put our nose into people's business.
Yes, they're not invited to. They invite themselves. They invite themselves, no matter how we look at it.
No, the news invites us to put our nose into other people's business.
And it's up to us.
Yes.
If we want to, so we have our own free will, if we want to pass judgment or not on this. Now, we can point fingers at people and we can talk about people and we can talk about the person down the road. And did you hear this about this one? Did you hear that about the other one? They done such a thing or they said such a thing.
People love a bit of scandal.
Yeah, but the point about it is, if you're the one to talk, then regardless of who else talks about it, if you're the one to talk, well, then you're you might say publicly, if you like, whatever, it makes a difference, or privately, you're the one that's actually scandalizing that person then, because you're the one that's talking. And even if they live 200 miles away from you,
Did you hear about your man down the
even
road?
if they live in another country,
Did you hear about that fella across the road over there?
yes,
Did you hear about that young one in Keelup?
it's like you're taking pride in somebody's downfall or
Did you
someone's
hear
mistakes.
what happened Ryan Tuberty?
Them kind of stuff, yeah.
Did you hear what happened Chris Rock and Will Smith?
They're the kind of things I don't like getting involved with.
I'm not interested in it at all.
Seriously, because it does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing
You
for
know what
me.
it does for me? If I read
anything
it,
at all,
it makes me heavy.
it would put me on a downer.
Yeah, it makes me
And
feel
I really
heavy.
mean that. So the stuff there I don't get involved with, stuff I don't even make comments about, stuff that let's say I've often felt sorry for people. But then again, what people don't understand is it's human nature at its worst. Being honest about it. Because nobody's perfect. So if you were to make a mistake along the line somewhere, and I was going and mouthing you, did you hear about Dean this, Dean that, and Dean said this, and Dean done this. So that's making me look like the good guy then, So it makes me look perfect, is that right?
Man, you just said that's
I'd be making a big mistake.
one of the nicest things you've ever said, right? And I think that's what this young one who likes listening to you. Nobody's perfect. Newsflash,
Yes,
nobody's perfect. Newsflash,
absolutely. No
we
one's
all do
perfect.
stupid things. Newsflash, we're all a little bit fucked in our own bleeding lives.
Why are we all like that? Tell me.
Why are we all?
There's
Because
one
we're,
answer to it. There's probably 1,000 answers. I have one.
we're human.
We're all human beings. That's why.
Yeah.
And human beings make mistakes. Human beings are not perfect. And I don't care if you're the most intelligent person in this world, if you're the most wealthiest person or the most famous person, you will make mistakes. It's as simple as. And that's the human side of us. We make mistakes. Simple, because we are human.
And we have pressures. I want to be very clear with you. Like I've told you this before. I really enjoyed doing this podcast. I've started to really like it. To the point where I'd say I love you. Yeah. In a non-romantic way.
Don't get carried away, Dean, because
No.
I am married. I have a lot of kids, a lot of grandkids.
I know that. Like as a friend, I'd love you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put any pressure on you, undue pressure. I fucking hate when I put pressure on people that because of my own insecurities or my own Russian stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I do not want to be putting pressure on you or anybody else. I'm not interested in doing that. What I'm interested in doing is having more amazing conversations with more amazing people.
See, sometimes we feel that way because we don't want to burden anybody, you see. We could have lots of stuff to talk about, especially about ourselves. And we might want to talk about these things because it's not that we don't have problems. Everybody has problems. Everybody has ups and downs in life. We all know that. And if you're Mr. Perfect and you think you haven't, then you're only fooling yourself. Very, very simple. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that everybody wants to talk about their problems or that they want to lay their problem or their burden onto somebody else. And people think by just by talking to somebody else that's exactly what they're doing. But at the same time, we could be thinking wrong. It can be a great idea to talk to somebody else. Have a chat. It doesn't have to be on a serious note. It can be on simple enough lines. You know what I mean? Maybe that other person was probably say, well, I'm glad that person had a chat with me now because maybe they have stuff on their minds or on their chests and they couldn't get off. And it probably freed them from that, like, you know. Because talking is great, as we know.
Talking's great, and I'm not interested in chatting to you about the football or the weather or
Football I have no interest in.
no interest.
I used to love when the World Cup used to be on. If Ireland is in the World Cup, I enjoy that. I do not like football. Now, saying that, I used to play football when I was young. We used to play it for hours on end. And that was literally every single day. Yeah. But when the World came up in the World Cup in 1990 and 94, wasn't it?
I think the whole world fell in love with Ireland then.
Everybody just loved it because that was it.
Everyone
And,
loved
well,
Ireland.
most people,
Everyone loves the World Cup, right? Well, it's a general statement, but people love the World Cup. But back then,
no, once Ireland was
people
involved.
were looking at it going,
No, when Ireland was involved, that was really
Ireland could do it.
that was the buzz, wasn't it?
Ireland could do it.
It's like you believed in something, wasn't it? Huh?
Every person in the country
Yeah.
with the,
But sure, when
with the
Ireland,
shirt on.
when Ireland then lost and was put out of it, basically, that was it. Sure, Ireland went on a downer then. It was like everybody was having a bad hangover for a month.
For a month, for about 10 years,
yeah,
I'd say.
well, whatever.
But it's mad that not that we need something like that, but something like that can re-energise.
Yeah, that's right.
A whole nation
It likes,
of people.
it arises the adrenaline, is it?
Yeah, and all the anger and the fear and the scandalising all just disappears.
Oh, forgot about. The whole world's forgot about.
Yeah.
It's all fun and laughter and excitement. And it's a lovely, lovely way to be, isn't it?
And it doesn't matter who your neighbour is. He could have been a
They love
bleeding
each other.
shy
They
hog
love
last
each
week.
other.
The
Yes.
next week you're painting his gaff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something
Yeah.
special about it.
There
I
is.
don't really watch football, but there's a magic in that type of
I think
collective
I think what the
community.
magic was the fact that Ireland was playing. Because you could watch any other team and you wouldn't have the same
Brazil.
same feeling or the same buzz about it. I don't know about anybody else because I'm not a football supporter or follower, as a fellow would say. But yeah, sure, we have loads of different types of sports, but football seems to be one of the biggest, doesn't it? I think the football gets the whole country going. Is that right? Yeah, sure, that's the crack there anyway, Dean. That's the story with the footballing and, as you said, the scandalising.
But what I've found, even in the football, a lot of it now is about the scandal in the game, the scandal in the players, the scandal in the World Cup, in the money, in the corruption.
Dean, can I say
Where's
one
the
thing?
sport of it?
This is the problem. The problem that we have in this world is that we are inclined way too often to look for the wrong in the other person. It should be the opposite way around. We should look for the good in the other person. Because there can be a lot of good in anybody. But if we constantly look for the bad in them and we're pointing fingers at this and pointing fingers at that and everything is all wrong about them, where is the good? Where's the excitement?
But you know yourself.
So before you know, you'd have yourself depressed.
You know yourself. If 100 people were queued up and they were all waving and patting you on the back and going, "Go on, man, you can do it," and then one fella went, "You're fucking shy,"
Yeah,
you turn and get. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You'd focus on that one thing.
yeah.
Like what you're saying is, I think generally people are mostly good, and everybody has a little bit of
I think there's more good in people than bad. Put it that way.
than bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
It's like doing favors for somebody, yeah. And you do them 20 favors, and you're the nicest guy in the world, then, aren't you? He loves you, but you refuse him one favor. That's it. Your history. You're the worst guy in the world. So he doesn't think of all the good things you've done for him, but he knows the one bad thing, as he might call it a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It could be something that you might be able to do for him, but it seems to be a common problem in the society that we live in today. Being honest about it.
Yeah, I
You're
had
the best person in the world when you're good to them or nice to them. Make one mistake or say no once, then you're the bad guy.
I had it today.
Did
Right.
you?
So I'm in the gaff with my girlfriend Peyton, and I say to my young fella, "Do you want to clean your room there for 5 minutes?"
Yeah.
Right. And to me, he was going to do it, and then he just went, "No, I have something else to do," and I was tearing strips out from inside me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was sweating doing the painting and all that type of stuff, and then I just had to go, "What the fuck am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
what am I up to?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just because he said no.
Yeah, but I wanted it to happen, and no
So
matter.
are you one of these fellas saying that when someone says no to you, you can't handle it?
No, most times I can, but there's certain times when you catch yourself out, or you think you make this thing big in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Even though I have a great relationship with him, and he gave me a big hug last night, the next day he said no to clean his room for 5 minutes, and I was ready to put him in the ground.
You
Like,
thought he had him soft.
oh my God.
But sometimes you get like that. It depends if you're stressed out on one thing or another, for sure. You have to just take it as it is. You can't just get upset because someone says no to you.
But we do all the time. Martin, I see you do it all the time.
No, I want you to explain that to me now.
Okay, so if you're, I was doing a little job with you yesterday, and we were humping stuff into the back of a van, right?
Throwing the wood, the timber, yeah.
Throwing bits of timber and all this
Yes,
type of
go on.
stuff, right? And there's a couple of boys with us, and one of the boys doesn't do something, and you're like, "Ah," you know what I mean?
No, not that.
Because
not
you're
that
the
sense.
big gorilla. You're the big gorilla going,
No, it's not even
thump,
that.
thump, thump, get it done.
Well, there's a difference then.
Go on then.
If I come to you and say, Dean, can you drop me down to the shop here, please? I need to go down to the shop. My car is broken down.
Yeah.
And you say, Martin, I'm busy. I can't do it right now. Well, I'm okay with that. But if I'm lifting something, yeah, Like whatever, it could be a cushion, it could be a settee or a table or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And you're standing there watching me, and I'm saying, Dean, would you grab that, please? Gives a bit of a help to a balance or something like. And you say no. Well, I'd literally, I'd lift the settee and probably throw it at you then. Because you're standing there doing nothing.
Hey, that's the point. That's exactly
that's
the point.
where
That's exactly the point
the only
I'm
thing that
making.
would upset me
That's exactly
badly.
the point.
So I'm working hard, probably sweating, maybe strained or
That's what I
walk.
was saying. I was painting the walls.
No, yeah, but you probably got angry for that reason because you're you got a brush in one hand with a book in the other hand,
Yeah.
and you're asking your man just to kick that over there to me.
I'm spilling paint
Will you
everywhere.
kick that over there, please?
Yeah. And he's going, no,
No.
I'm all right.
So you're in a trap there.
Yeah.
Naturally, you're going to just get angry for some reason. You want to have great patience not to. But on the other hand, asking someone to do you a favor and they're busy or they're going somewhere or they're doing something else, there's
I'm
no,
brand new with that.
or I can't do it for you now, that kind of thing. That's nothing to get upset about. That's okay, thanks very much, goodbye. Although I'd like to. But no, they're the kind of different, I think there's a lot of differences in asking somebody to do something for you or somebody asking you. It's all, there's probably loads of reasons why you maybe at times you can't do it. But that doesn't mean you can't do it afterwards, or yeah, I'll help you later on, or I'll give you a hand at such time, or no, I can't do that right now, but I'll do it later of you. Them kind of stuff.
There's two things that I kind of realised.
I think it's something that happens every day, probably every day.
No, there is, but there's something I'm realising more often. One is have patience, right?
Patience is the virtue.
Patience is a virtue. And then the other one is, stop taking it so serious.
I have to say this now that you're saying this. You take everything serious.
Sometimes I do, Martin, but I'm learning.
So how many
I've learned a
times-
lot from you.
Okay, how many times have I said to you, Dean,
But
why are
as
you
much
taking
as I've learned from you, I still see you do the same thing.
Okay, right, that's fine. Because, why? Because I'm human, I make mistakes. How many times have I said to you, Dean, stop taking things serious? Like, things that we shouldn't be taking serious.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if it
That
doesn't
we
happen,
could, like,
but we
laugh
have
it
it built.
off or just push it aside. And even if you don't feel like laughing, just try and push it aside anyway. So how many times have you done that? Have I told you this? Lots of times. And you just turn around and tell me you don't take things serious. I think you owe the podcast listeners an apology for...
I'm only human.
Huh?
What's that song? I'm only human, don't you know? Don't put your blame on me.
So that's the crack there, Dean, anyway, about all of that.
I love the way you go from one topic to the next by going, right, well, that's the crack there now, so let's move on to something else.
So your mother's birthday was today. What did you do special for her?
I wouldn't be one big for presents. Here's what I said to her. My present is
Your presents.
my presents.
Presents. So
Yeah.
present,
My present is
presents.
my presents.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's nice, but I think it's also nice to buy a bunch of flowers or maybe what do you call it? A perfume or something like that.
Yeah, I leave that to other people to do.
No, I'm just saying, Dean, man, obviously you're different. I'm not. Maybe we are different that ways.
I wouldn't be one for cards or anything like that.
I like to be around and I like to buy an old card and maybe an old bottle of perfume or an old bunch of flowers. That'd be for the mother, the wife,
I
the
think the most
daughters.
valuable thing we have is our attention and our presence with somebody. You know what I mean? Give them the time.
It is, Dean,
Give
but
people the time.
it is, maybe it is, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it
It
right.
was your
but-
mammy's birthday, right?
Yeah.
One is, I wouldn't know what to get her. Yeah?
Well, flowers. Women like flowers.
Okay. I know that, but I wouldn't know what to get her specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
come
here's
on, come
here's
on.
what Ellie's into. But what I would give her, and what I know is that she wouldn't be able to get that off anybody else.
A big hug.
And that she'd love is 10 minutes having the crack, slagging each other, and a big hug.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, I have to cut you short on that one there. You can do that every day. But that one special day is their birthday. Not that they might want a little bit more, but they might want you just something just to mark that day. So maybe a little bunch of flowers could mark that. Maybe a little birthday card saying I love you, or maybe they might need chocolates, but you can get them for the money to give them out to the grandkids. Or as again I said, maybe a bottle of perfume or something like that there. There's lots of things that you can buy for a woman, like for her birthday. Whether it be your mother, your wife, your daughters, or whatever, like. That'd be me anyway. I would do my best. I would do my best to get them as let's say, as little as possible, like. Something, get them something.
You say as little as possible?
Yeah, as little. No, I don't mean as little as possible. What I mean, I would do my best to to do the minimum. Sorry, how would I say that?
This is
To do
great. Here's a shovel, Martin. Dig a bigger hole.
No, I would, as little as it might be, that's how I meant to say, yeah. As little as it might be, I would try to do something for them.
Yeah.
That'd be the word. That was the word I'd use. As little as it might be, yeah. So a little is better than nothing. So I have to say, if I do a little, I don't want to challenge you, Dean, but I have to say his words, if you do nothing, what does it mean?
No, I don't do nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think
there is no competition, but in all honesty, you have your ways, me, I have my ways.
the one thing that I value about
Now, the one thing I want to say to you as well,
me mammy is being in front of her and having time with her.
absolutely, yeah.
Because I know people whose parents have passed, for example.
Yeah, I understand that.
And they say to me, if I could just have 1 second with me mammy or me daddy. You know what I mean? And I'm privileged to have that, to have access to my mammy and daddy, you know?
People, that's people beating themselves up, Dean.
You think,
If they
no,
could
but it's
think
also,
right.
I think it's also people realising that no matter how many jumpers or holidays or cars I got from my parents, 1 second in time.
Yeah, obviously. But if supposing they've done everything in their lives with their parents or whatever, right? And they fulfilled, let's say, everything that they wanted to fulfill in a family sense, yeah? And still, they would crave one more moment. Isn't that beating themselves up?
No, I don't think, I don't understand.
Personally, I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm
you
not
mean.
saying I'm right, but I think it is.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm hearing your explanation of beating themselves up. They're being hard on themselves, like
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, exactly. When I say beating themselves up, yeah, they're being hard on themselves. On their inside, as a fellow would say. Again, they could have had the perfect parents. They could have spent all the time in the world with them. They could have bought them all the presents in the world. They could have done everything that they ever wanted to do. But that doesn't mean that it's still like one more moment with them. I'm sure everybody probably feels the same way as that, regardless of how much they done or how much they didn't do.
I seen Ellie the other day.
So I'd say, I'm not saying I'm a psychologist here or anything like that there. I'd imagine that thinking of all the good stuff that they done, that they did do, should be a consolation to them. Knowing that they had some good times, basically. Of course, that's easy for me to say, I understand that, but I'd imagine that would be a little bit of peace of mind, like, you know what I mean? What were you saying? You see my mother?
You seen your mother the other day, and you know sometimes when you see somebody and they don't notice you for about the first 3 seconds, and there's that little, who's this person saying hello to me and being all friendly and all, and then she realised it was me.
She didn't have her glasses, were she?
I don't know. She had would she need glasses if she was like 2 or 3 foot away?
2 or 3 foot away.
Yeah, because I pulled up.
Sure, if you were that distant, you'd bump right into her, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I pulled up in the car and she kind of she was at the passenger window. And she was like, "Oh, who's that?" And
Did
then
she?
she noticed me, but then she had a big smile there. And we got straight back into the crack and had the banter and talking and all. It was lovely.
Very good. Well, yeah, she's that kind of woman, and she can strike up a conversation there and then, which is good. So,
Got an award there of
the Lord Mayor. Was the Lord Mayor presented that? Was it just
president?
the president?
The president.
So, yeah, the Lord Mayor was the first one.
President Michael D. Higgins had the privilege of meeting your mammy.
That's right.
And there's a great photograph of her having the crack with the president's wife.
That's right. We were slagging each other, weren't they?
It's great.
It was good, wasn't it?
It's lovely, I just seen them as all elders, as what you're saying, older people, all those elders sitting there, having the crack with each other.
the good nature that she has and the good sense of humour that she has, obviously it can alert conversation and also can make the other people feel comfortable around you, like, you know what I mean? So I think that's where part of that came in as well. And sure, it was only last year when she got the award from the
Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor, yeah.
The Spirit of the Community
That
Award
was
in Ballymun.
good, yeah. That was nice, wasn't it? That's me ma.
That's me ma.
It's me ma.
You love your ma.
Absolutely, love and adore her.
Oh, she's 3.
Yeah. I love her, Dean. I love her with all my heart, my friend. There's no doubt about that. She's good fun sometimes, you know that? I do be slagging her and I'd be changing the accents with her and the voices and all.
Like what?
Sometimes I pretend to be her brother on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And I do ask her all the questions about, say, what's going on in Ballymun and all that. And she listens and listens careful. And all of a sudden, then is this you, Martin? Is this you?
You're the messer.
Then she takes me giving out.
You singing a song for her?
Huh?
You sing for her?
Yeah, I was often saying, I do be slagging singing her, like, if we're going down to her, like. I was often slagging her about, there's a couple of mother songs there, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. Give us one.
No, what I mean is, it'd be, you give her one or two lines, that's it, like.
Give us,
I mean,
give us a sample of it.
give her an old hug. Dean, they're from your mother, not for you.
No, come on.
Dean, they're from your
This is for
mother,
your
I
mummy.
said.
Mommy's going to be listening to this.
Yeah?
Martin's mommy, Ellie Stokes.
Yeah, we can sometime, please.
She
Ross.
listens to the podcast.
Yeah, she does.
Does she?
Yeah, she even the one that we done with her at the time, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got the young lads to put that one on for her. That was good. She was interested in that.
That blows my mind. My ma's listening to this. Your ma's listening to this. Loads of young travellers I know listen to it as well. One of your nephews is really, he's always on to me going, he's still doing the podcast with Martin.
What do they like about it, though? That's what I'd like to know.
This, the chat, the banter, the conversation, people talking to each other for more than 2 seconds about stuff that's not just the weather or football or scandal.
We did talk about the weather.
Yeah, but we were taking the piss out of it.
football.
We took the piss out of both of them. We didn't talk about, oh my God, did you see that thing that happened there? We're just having the crack, we're having the banter. It's like two fellas standing in a field, you know what I mean? Just looking out over the bleeding hills. Not a care in the world, just chatting to each other.
Lost.
Lost in
Lost
conversation.
in the universe.
Yeah. Lost in the conversation of the universe within each other and actually having the crack and enjoying it.
Did you see that thing there last week, Dean? They went down to see for the Titanic.
Yes. Now, some very wealthy people paid an awful lot of money to go to the bottom of the sea, and it ended in tragedy. But what I was thinking at exactly the same time was on exactly the same day, a couple of hundred people on another boat, they drowned in the Mediterranean Sea, and there wasn't much said about it.
I never heard that about it.
Exactly.
It wasn't on the news, was it?
It was on the news, but
Was it on the clips
the
of
other one took the whole news over for
Yeah,
a
that's
week.
right. Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about it. That's what connected with me. You know what I mean? One was this story that we were getting updated every 5 minutes on.
Because they were wealthy. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, they were wealthy. They
Or
were.
Could it be?
The difference between the people on the
Could it
Pakistani people on the boat and the people in the submarine.
Yeah.
One of the big obvious difference was rich, poor, black, white.
Do you think that, though?
But that is the difference.
Do you not think that what happened on the boat, maybe this is the wrong statement to make, it's probably happened numerous times,
So do you think that?
and they're looking at this like, nah, it's just another shipwreck, kind of.
Yeah, but
No, I'm just saying that.
maybe,
in their-
absolutely.
I don't know. I'm just saying, is that
it
the
wasn't.
case?
It wasn't really just
It's not a
shipwreck.
nice way to say it, but is that the view they're taking in their country?
It could be, and also they were kind of immigrants or refugees. They were seeking refuge.
Seeking asylum.
Yeah,
So it could
they
be.
were fleeing their
So
country
could it be
because
looked
of.
upon like they were nobody? Is that it? Is that the case? It's possible.
It is very possible that that's what it is. That these 80 or whatever people who drowned are less.
Very sad because they're
Less
still human
important.
beings, and they are every bit as important as any millionaire out there. I know they're not seen that way by certain individuals.
Well, on the news, for example.
As I said again, I don't watch the news big, but what I did know that the submarine thing was popping up on the Google every
Everywhere.
time you go on your phone,
And it was almost.
and also everybody was talking about it.
It was
All around me,
almost
basically.
like somebody is putting this stuff out there because somebody has to decide what's the news and what isn't the news. Somebody has to pay the money to go put this on the news.
Could it be that it was to do with the Titanic? Titanic was always a big story, as you know. So could it be
Why was the Titanic a big story?
because so many people lost their lives on the ship?
So I'm going back to the other one. 80 people drowned.
I know that, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot of people.
Were they rescued, or even though what I'm saying, were they found? Was it
No.
serious?
Yeah. So they were fleeing because of the way the world is going, because of immigration, and there's no grain in a lot of countries. There's no wheat. They can't make bread and all that type of stuff. Yeah, for loads of reasons. One, the
Yeah.
war in Ukraine and
That's
Russia.
right.
Too much rain, not enough rain. There's people who can't eat, so they're fleeing their countries. And Pakistan is one of those countries. And this particular boat, and another a similar boat left the day before and a similar boat will leave the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's hundreds of people on it and this boat went down and 80 people drowned.
It's very, very sad.
And it was
isn't
exactly the same day as the other thing happened.
Yes, and not a word about it.
And, well, depends on where you get your news is another one as well.
Yeah.
Where do you get your news? Where do you get your news?
To be honest with you, I don't really watch much news on the TV. If I'm browsing through the phone, as soon as you click into Google, all the more or less the headlines comes up in them, and it seems to happen a lot about the submarine, but I haven't seen one about the
So the headline, how do you think the headline gets there?
well, it's put there, isn't it,
By who?
by the journalists,
So who would decide what goes to the top and what goes to the bottom?
the news people themselves.
The news people themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
The Googles and
the people that knows which one is best.
best for what?
Well, best for the wrong reasons, taking people's interest.
Taking people's attention,
Yes.
taking their eyeballs. And on the side, if you're on your phone, on the side of the story, scrolling up and down the side, there's stuff that they want to sell you. There's stuff that they want you to buy for your mammy's birthday, for example. Buy this perfume, buy this car, buy this holiday. So that's kind of what I was thinking about it. And yes, it is tragic that anybody dies, but people die all the time. Those 5 people, they paid for the adventure, for the risk.
Yeah, that's right.
They took the challenge. They took the chance. They had a choice. The other guys on the boat had less of a choice because they had to flee because of
Well, they made a choice of going, but didn't have a choice to stay.
living in poverty. There's a famine. There's no wheat. There's no grain. There's a war on in a country that provides all of their bread.
So they really had no choice then.
So they're really backed up against the wall.
You might say they had a choice if to go or stay, but if they push forward, then there is no choice, is there? Anyway, Dean, both occasions were sad.
Yeah. What were you thinking with the Titanic one, with the Titan, the submarine?
Titan submarine, I think from the bit I learned off the what do you call it, the news, saying the Google basically, I thought it was a very sad story, being honest about it. I thought it's not right to speak ill of the dead now. I thought it was a very, very, very crazy idea because right now they can send robot cameras right down to the Titanic. They can view every little detail of it. They made a replica wreckage, if you like, in a big football pitch. Yeah?
Somewhere safe that you can go and view it safely.
Yeah, in a football pitch. But they've put every single detail together. So you're literally looking at the Titanic wreck. So I can't understand why would anybody want to risk their lives in a submarine and go to the very bottom of the ocean, the deepest ends of it.
It's kind of like people who risk their lives to go to the very height of Mount Everest. You can put a camera up there.
Do you reckon it's harder to go to visit the Titanic than it is to land on the moon?
I suppose this would happen in space as well, but if you're whatever amount of kilometers below the sea and something breaks,
13,000 feet.
very, very, very high risk that of an implosion. And an implosion is the thing that you're in. Let's say it's the size of this room. It's 15 foot by 15 foot. Gets squashed down to the size of a pea. That's one of the things that I was thinking about, and I think that that's one of the things that caught people's attention. That's horrifying.
Why would you want to get into a submarine and travel right down that distance, knowing that it is a serious, serious risk?
I would imagine that one of the reasons is the risk, the adrenaline. Most people can't afford this. Most people will never do this. In the history of all people ever, these people would have been the first 5 civilians to ever do this. And for some people, that's the thing that they want to do. Some people want to drive a motorbike at 600 kilometers an hour. Some people want to lie on a sunbed in Spain for 2 weeks doing cocaine and drinking sangria. Everyone has their thing that it makes them feel like alive or important or they want to do, you know what I mean?
Or do it just because they can do it.
We all do risky stuff.
Like, I know I risk coming in here doing a podcast and all that, but
I risk going up to St. Margaret's and knocking on your door and inviting myself in for an old ham sandwich.
But that's the story there, Ian, with the Titanic anyway, and the poor people on the ship. I never heard one word about that.
And that, it goes back to what we started with, the news. Where does the news come from? Why do people watch it? And who decides what's the news and what's not the news? I kind of find like what you said, just look out your own window. Look out your own door. Look out into your own family. Look out into your own community. And if there's something that you can bring to that, a bit of laughter, a bit of smile, a bit of energy, a bit of support, I think that's the news. For me, that's the news.
Yeah, bring the best news. Bring the best that you can bring. Put it that way. Now again, we're not always in great form to be bringing the good news, as the fellow would say. All you can do is your best any day, any one day. Is that right? I don't know. So you're living still in Dundalk, yeah. And are you still going across the border for the green diesel and the cheap food?
You up the green diesel? I was actually inquiring about the green diesel.
Yeah?
I asked a fella up there about it, and he said, look, I can tell you where to go and get it, but if you're caught, you're bollocks, like. No, there's a big fine. I think it's $5,000 fine.
I don't mind that.
Possible.
Don't mind that.
Don't mind.
If you, you know, if they reckon if you put, I shouldn't be saying this. They reckon if you're, obviously, you know, in the Northern Ireland you get, it's red diesel you get, yeah?
Well, I don't know that. Yeah, but I know it now, right?
I'm telling you now, right?
Red diesel.
And in Southern Ireland.
Say that again?
Southern Ireland, yeah. Southern Ireland, yeah, whatever you want to call it. You get green diesel. So they reckon if you put in the red diesel and the green diesel together, what happens?
You get a Rastafari diesel. Jamaican diesel.
You get reggae diesel. They reckon it turns white. They reckon the dye works against it. The dye in both of the diesels
counteract each other.
Yes. And they reckon the diesel turns white. Why do you think years ago there were so many smugglers of diesel living all close to the borders? They're mixing the green and the white and the red together.
So in my head, right, I get the green diesel.
Green diesel, yes.
I get pulled over.
Yes.
They test the tank.
Yes.
They say, there's green diesel in this.
Yes. They send you a fine.
Yeah.
So you can pay to the government. If you have money in your pocket, you pay to them. And it's all forgot about.
You're saying bribe them?
No, you don't have to bribe them. If you have money in your pocket, they're taking it off you. I know, no, seriously, I'm not saying people bribe them. I know people that have been stopped for green diesel and that sometimes pay on-the-spot fines. That'll be 300 or 500, whatever they had in their pockets. And then, if they didn't have it on them, the fine will come out for 1,500. But if you're, how much diesel would you use in a week? Just say for curiosity. 100 quid a week.
Yeah.
So it's 5,000 a year to you run your car in diesel.
When you put it like that, serious amount of money.
Yes, it's a lot of money, of course.
So green diesel is half the price.
So green diesel is half the price of that. You're down to 2,500 there and then, basically, almost automatically. You're not putting in the 100 now. You're putting in 50 for the week. But what you can always do with the other 50, throw into a box,
stock it up
in case the custom stops you.
Have it in the shoe box.
No, you're lucky. You just stop. You just have about a year's amount of money saved. And you get stopped.
Ta-da!
Here, Sarge, yeah. There's 2,500 in the.
I've been waiting for you all
year. 2,500 in the purse there. Oh, that's one way of keeping up to date with it. But yeah, the green diesel and the white diesel, the red diesel, I reckon when you mix it,
is the Rasta diesel.
Their dye works against each other.
No more diesel in the world.
I wouldn't use it. Would you use green diesel, you know?
No, it doesn't interest me. It did initially because I was looking at the bill every week because it's going up. I never had that bill before in my life. I never had to drive 100 kilometres to and from a place 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So when you stock it up, but like between the jigs and the reels, I probably would have been paying 100 quid every 2 weeks. Now I'm paying 100 quid every week, but I'm also saving on different bills as well. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, the jigs and the reels, it all balances out. Here's what I find, right? Everything that I do, no matter how much I try or don't try, it all balances out. That's the way I see my whole life. I'm neither winning or losing, and neither should I be thinking I'm winning or losing. It's all balanced out. Think about everything you've done in your life to try and scrape a few quid here or get an advantage here or do this and that. You might have got it temporarily, then unbeknownst to you, it's wiped away or swiped out from under your feet or stolen from your back pocket. Or you buy an old stolen. This is what used to happen to me all the time. I'd buy an old stolen wheel or tire or tube off somebody, and then I'd cycle it for 6 months, and then one day I'd be out the back roads and I'd get 10 punters in a row. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I find, for me, my whole life balances out. So I just have to, appreciate that and accept that. Acceptance for me is the key. And don't be. Yes, go out and live your life and go to climb Mount Everest or go to the bottom of the Bleeding Sea to see the Titanic. But eventually, it all balances out.
But nothing else happening there, no.
And you, Martin?
Everything's quiet, yeah.
Good to be back, is it?
Yeah, I've been very busy for the last couple of months, especially for the last few weeks now.
What are you busy on?
Everything.
But I'm sure you like coming
Getting
here
around.
and doing this as well.
No, this is not something that stops me from doing what I have to do anyway. Like, you know what I mean?
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm sure that for me, this is
Like a timeout, kind of.
it's like a little timeout.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's like a little.
Yeah,
Let's
sure, I
walk
love-
up to the field and have a chat up in the corner.
Like, in
up
all
there.
honesty, I love coming slagging you. I come in here slag you. I make that a priority, don't I?
What can I get this country fella on?
The countryman, huh? Travel around the country, man. It's a good one when you think of it.
I think it's a beauty. It's
Aye.
like it's genius. I was saying to you the other day. This for me, this is the only podcast that I know where there's a traveller fella on it. Amazing.
Is there no other travel lad in
No, I
in
think
Galway?
like who else would be doing it? Martin Beans, I think, was doing one on and off. I think John Connors was doing one on and off.
Right, very good.
But a regular one, where we're getting in, and we're not top heavy on the guests here. It's just kind of me
like
and
a
you.
regular where we do a week and miss 10, is it?
We do a week
Yeah.
and miss 2 because I gave you an ultimatum. But look, I'm looking forward to doing more, to having the crack, to inviting some people on. There's 1 or 2 people you were talking to me about getting on. Do you want to tell me anything about them?
They're mystery people.
They're not mystery bleeding people. Just tell me. There's one fella. You tell me who he is. One fella that you've been saying to
No,
me.
we can't spoil it, honestly.
Can we not?
No, we can't. We
Have you asked him yet?
There's 1 or 2. No, I know I've threw a few hints. There's 1 or 2 people to come on, and we get
Throw a
them
couple
on.
of more hints.
Again, have a bit of crack, a bit of banter, get a bit of story out of them. Because look, it doesn't have to be a serious.
Would you be a bit shy asking somebody to come and get on?
It depends who, honestly.
Well, let's say the fella that you've been telling me about. That
I
we
won't be shy asking him. No,
So you're gonna go and
there's actually 2 people I'm trying to get on.
would you go to them or would you ring them up?
There's a friend of mine who's very close to the person that I want to come on here, and I've only mentioned it once to him, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "Give me a week's notice." He said, "and we'll sort that out." I'm going to give him a week's notice next week. And then another lad I want to get on as well, also, and he's not old fashioned, but he'll be a storyteller. Like, I mean, he'll tell you,
Lovely.
he'll probably do your head in more than anything else, but we won't say his name. You'll probably guess.
And were you talking to me about maybe going out to him?
No, that's the other one. Yeah,
That's the other fella. Yeah,
That's going to be interesting.
that'd be good crack.
And
Yeah,
we'll probably have to film that.
we might film that. Yeah, have an
And then we're going to be doing the campfire one, a different one again.
So we're going to do a campfire one as well.
We'll do
so we're
that-
just
we'll do
looking at
that-
a location.
We'll do that in about a month's time.
Yeah, we're looking at a location. So
We're going to make this look professional with the lighting and all, yeah?
Martin has it built up in his head. I don't think he realises how difficult it is to set
No,
it
no,
up.
we get enough light out of the campfire if we get that going.
And then we're looking at doing the live show. I think it's around the 24th of November in the Access. So we'll let you know more about that.
Well, whatever you do, make sure it's not the 8th.
The 8th of November, is that your birthday? Is
Yep.
that your birthday?
Yep, the flats, he said.
My 50th
So-
is the 20th of November.
Is that right? November as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Come on, Dean, eh?
Did you not remember that?
So we
You
have...
didn't remember my birthday. Didn't get me flowers or nothing.
No, what I was going to say, we have at least one little bit of thing in common.
Senator Eileen Flynn says yes to November. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be
Brilliant, that's
interesting.
good.
Live audience. We might have another guest, or we might have a singing guest, or Martin might actually...
We'll try and get 2 guests, yeah? You're telling too much, Dean, honestly.
Okay, I won't. I'll leave
And
them.
you're not... And you're not...
I was going to say Martin was going to do
You're
something.
an
more.
awful yapper when you start, aren't you? You have to be told to stop.
God forbid we're doing a podcast
Yeah.
together and talking is the game we're in. Right, do a big send off there for everybody.
Big send off. This is our 42nd podcast, all right. What's the send off?
You do it.
Well, like, how would you do a send off? Go on.
No, I've done loads of them. I've done all of them.
Tell me how you do your send off again.
Right, so, lads, that was great. See us next week. Travel on the Countryman. If you want to pay us, go on to patreon.com/Travel on the Countryman. And sure, we'll see us on the road.
So, lads, that was great. That's our 42nd episode. Good to be back to here, Slag and Dean again, yeah. And hopefully we'll be speaking to you soon.
Right, I want you to get on your phone now. If you're listening to the podcast, share it in a WhatsApp group. To all the travellers out there, if you're not listening, if you're not sharing this podcast,
How can they, if they're not listening, how
If you're
How
not
can you
sharing,
hear
you
that
want to
list
come on
then?
to yourself and start sharing this podcast around.
Sure
Martin
did.
Stokes said he'd run through your house with a Hoover.
All about Sheridan, isn't it? What Sheridan is
You
Sheridan.
could sing them a song.
Sheridan is Sheridan, isn't
You
it?
could sing them a song. What are you doing? Don't be making hand
Dean,
signals.
there's going to be no song to sing. You know that anyway.
Oh me, oh my.
You tried to embarrass me into a song, yeah?
You're such a good-looking woman.
If I could sing, Dean, I'd sing. That's actually a good song there from Joe Dolan, yeah? They have a monument to him in Mullingar, do you know that?
Yeah, you a fan?
Did you know that? Of Joe Dolan?
I only
Yes.
found out recently
I love his songs.
that he's from Mullingar.
Did you?
Brezzy was talking about him on
Yeah,
the,
Brezzy and Niall Horn. There's a good few from
on the Ray
Mullingar.
Darcy show.
When were you talking to Brezzy?
No, he was talking about Joe Dolan on the Ray Darcy show.
Yeah, but sure, in all honesty, Joe Dolan is Mullingar's hero. Be honest about it.
They have a bridge to him. That's what I
Love
found out.
him.
It's a Joe Dolan bridge.
Yeah, they have a monument to him as well also. Yeah. But he was good. Very, very good. Sure, there's not many people anyone that's into a bit of that kind of music, there's not many people that doesn't like Joe Dolan, so
Anybody who likes Joe Dolan is going to like him. Anybody who doesn't like him doesn't know anything about him.
I suppose, yeah. But if they don't know anything about him, how they're not going to like him? How do they have the opportunity not to like him if they don't know anything about him?
This is
Come
the
on.
shit that I've played in there.
Answer it, Dean. Go on.
This is the shit
Dean, you just walked.
that I missed out on.
Yeah, you just walked into that one there. If they don't know anything about him, how are they going to have the opportunity not to like him?
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.
Elvis has left the building.
Martin Stokes has left the building.
Cheerio, boys. Now I'm not one for sending pretty flowers, and I'll admit that I forget some special days, and I don't always call when I'm late by hours. And I can guarantee I'll ever change my ways. Just because the sunshine brightens up the day. Well, honey, that don't mean the stars have gone away. And the other men may do the things that I forget. Sweetheart, that don't mean I love you less. Now, if you ever wish to leave, I wouldn't hold you. But before you left, I pray you'd understand all the little things I know I should have told you. But they're so hard to express for some men. Just because the sunshine brightens up the day. Well, honey, that don't mean the stars have gone away. And the other men may do the things that I forget. Sweetheart, that don't mean I love you less. Sweetheart, that don't mean I love you less.
Nothing never comes easy. Nothing never comes easy.
So that's us for this episode, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.